Welcome and thank you for coming. I'm Olivia Watson, class of 2016. I work for the Office of Alumni Relations, and my work really focuses on the student to alumni transition at Brown and making sure that recent grads feel supported. I'm a professional coach, and a big part of my role is working one-on-one with recent grads. And so I'm really excited to be hosting this Fresh Out the Gates event, which is part of a series of events that cover topics of concern for recent Brown grads. I'm going to kick off this event with some reframing tips for networking, and then you'll be moved into the actual networking portion of the event. So to start us off, I thought I would focus on some of the misconceptions that really weigh on us when we think about networking. So these are some of the things that I hear Brown alums telling themselves about networking. And I'll be honest, I've thought just about all of these things myself in the past, consciously or unconsciously. And I wonder if you can relate to any of these. So I don't like to network because it's uncomfortable. I don't have time. It's not worth the time. It feels fake. I don't have connections like that. How do I network without a network? I'm an introvert. I'm awkward. I don't have anything to offer the other person. It's one-sided. I want to acknowledge these because these are really pervasive stories that we might be telling ourselves, and they play a role in why our attempts at networking are failing, or let's be honest, maybe we're avoiding networking altogether. So my challenge to you is to begin to really rewrite these narratives you have in your mind about networking. And I'm going to speak to how you might start telling yourself a different story in the next couple of slides. So we want to move from this mindset of networking being transactional to being more of a form of a community that you're a part of and taking on more of a relationship mindset. So I often hear, I have nothing to offer this person that I'm talking to, and I feel bad being a taker. It's one-sided. And I hear this a lot when people are reaching out to maybe people a little further along in their career. So first of all, I want to say in any of these conversations, you do bring something to the table. The thing that really flipped the script on this for me when I was a few years into my career and someone reached out to me for the first time about my job and where I had been. And I was super flattered, and I realized that all those times that I was worried about someone, being bothered by me or, not feeling like I was giving them anything in return, I was wrong, because what the person actually brought to the table is that they had genuine curiosity about me. It was flattering that they wanted to acknowledge my expertise and influence. So you really do, I hope you'll remember, you do bring something to the table in these conversations. I also hope you'll approach with curiosity, and really with the spirit of friendship. And when I say friendship, I don't mean that everybody you meet at a networking event should become your personal friend, but rather it's the mindset that you take when you meet someone. Careers and professional relationships, they are a long game. You might get help from someone today or, a little while down the road, but years from now, if you keep up that relationship, you might be helping them as well, and vice versa. So if you're approaching from the jump with the spirit of this could be a long-term, long-standing relationship, you're more likely to have a fruitful conversation with them and maintain that person in your network over time. I also hope you will keep a community mindset, and during this event, and also just in your networking conversations at large. By community, I simply mean a group with a common interest or identity. This gives you some common ground, but also goodwill and really a desire to help one another. So I hope you'll think about where you have community in your life or where you might be able to foster in your life. And Brown, of course, is a great place to start. This is why we really encourage you to network within the Brown community and amongst your peers too. And we call this networking across, which I actually pulled from an Issa Rae quote that I want to share with you. This is from an interview when she was coming off of her web series Awkward Black Girl, if you're familiar at all with her career, and working on her first major network show, so Insecure for HBO. And she was talking about how she got there. So she said, "We have a tendency of trying to network up, but it's really about networking across. Who's next to you? Who's struggling? Who's in the trenches with you? Who's just as hungry as you are? And those are the people that you need to build with. So I love that she said this because, while we know it's great to network with folks at all levels, it's great to connect with people in your own peer group because, one, it tends to feel more natural. It's a little easier a lot of times. You might have experienced similar career struggles and can share perspectives. I've reached out to friends in my field to ask how they would handle a situation, or even had conversations about things like compensation. It's really important to have those peer conversations. And it's great to hear that someone really successful in their field didn't get there necessarily by, reaching all the way up to the top, but really collaborating and talking to people at her own level. So I want to quickly show you some of the communities and tools that Brown offers that, ones you might use to pick up where you left off today. And you can always reach out to me with questions about any of these groups and tools. And you can find all of these, of course, at go.brown.edu/newgrads. And with that, we're going to move to the networking portion of the event. Quickly, I want to address awkwardness and nerves. Very normal to have a little bit of nerves if you do. Use that curiosity, ask those questions. This is all about practice and getting your feet wet. So I'm so glad you're here today. Thank you for taking the time. You're going to have up to 6 10-minute conversations today. Remember, you can see your conversation partner's profile and conversation starters on the side panel if you need them. I hope you'll take the opportunity to continue to connect with each other after the event, and make sure to take a quick survey at the end. This programming, the Fresh Out the Gates programming, is nothing without your input, so please let us know what you think and enjoy. About